Hey guys, welcome back to Through the Motions. This week is a hot week with news. We had a lot going on. We've heard whispers with Nolan, I'd say Luca Guadagnino, and maybe even a little bit of Daniel Craig.
Biggest news of the week, Tom Holland joins Christopher Nolan's next movie. In theatres July 2026, a week after Spider-Man 4 is set to release. Which means Tom Holland is going back-to-back leading roles. This could be a big moment for him. But about the film, he's referred to receiving that call as a call of a lifetime, which it probably is. It shows the gravitas of Nolan. He compared it to when he got the call for Spider-Man. Matt Damon's also starring. Rumoured to be a vampire movie set in the 20s. But how are we feeling about Tom Holland, and him taking a different sort of angle of his career now in this move?
I think this is what he needs. He's had Spider-Man. Of course, people loved him as Spider-Man, but he hasn't broke through after Spider-Man. He had Cherry. He had
Crowded Room.
Again, they're quite deep films, but nothing really landed.
Uncharted was probably his biggest film outside of...
biggest solo film outside of...
That to me was similar to what Spider-Man stood for. Kind of something a bit light-hearted, nothing too serious. Whereas this seems like something that is going to be able to show off a different side of him that we haven't got it on that level, especially it being a Nolan film. Everyone's watching. I like
positioning him, because obviously Matt Damon's been like a side character for Nolan's his last two films of Nolan. I like this for Tom Holland in terms of having Matt Damon with him as a co-star and having Nolan. We saw what he done with Cillian Murphy. Cillian Murphy's super talented, but it shot him into superstardom. And now Cillian Murphy's on another level. I think Tom Holland could experience the same thing.
Is there much more to go for Tom Holland, like in terms of fame? Do you not think he's reached every sort of height?
I think that he can still break into new markets, and obviously break into having more audience.
This will determine if he's remembered as Spider-Man or if he's remembered as Tom Holland the actor.
So that's very true. And recently I heard he also starred in a West End musical.
And that went well, Romeo and Juliet. That went well.
Which obviously we heard a lot of good things from it as well, and I think over everything I'm really excited for Nolan's next edition.
100%.
Because coming off of the Oscar wins, he's now moving on to the next film, just like Bong Joon-ho and Parasite, going on to Mickey 17. We have two big Oscar winners and two big films coming up on a timeline.
How do you feel about the premise? When I saw it,
but that's a rumoured premise, isn't it?
But let's imagine it. 1920s vampire horror, some sort of thing. I'll be honest, when I first heard Oppenheimer, I wasn't that excited about the premise. And I will happily say that I was surprised. This one, I feel even more so. I don't really know what to think of it.
It's quirky. No, go ahead.
It is quirky. I was going to say, for a director like Nolan, I don't think we'd stick to something like the 20s. He's a director who loves to toy with how times.
But why do you say that? Because he's not afraid of doing like period style pieces, like even Oppenheimer.
Prestige, that was set in.
Prestige is true.
So he's not one to shy away from time.
Dunkirk.
Maybe he'll toy with the timeline we get, or the sort of presentation of it, because that's just in his motif and style, isn't it? But I think
how much better can he get though?
Especially if Nolan is going to put that as his next film after he's come off these Oscars. Anything he does turns to gold anyway. So we'll see. I'm excited.
Very excited.
And especially because it's Tom Holland, Matt Damon, and I'm sure the cast list is going to be insane.
Talking about another hot director in the industry, Luca Guadagnino, to direct an American Psycho adaptation. This will be based off the same novel as the original, but a new version. He's obviously coming off challenges. He's got Queer coming out soon, starring Daniel Craig, which is generating a lot of buzz. Trailers coming out soon for that. This film, I don't think it's amazing. It's a good film. It launched Christian Bale into superstardom in 2000. And I feel like Patrick Bateman has been the subject of a lot of pop culture memes over the last couple of years. You see him on TikTok and stuff like that. He's that materialistic finance bro, that culture where it's all about the
long jackets and
cigars, the cigars, the apartment, the body, the women, the restaurants.
Yeah.
But he's also a serial killer.
Yeah.
But no word on who's starring as him. Rumours Jacob Elordi, but based on just the adaptation, how do we feel?
I think, well, adaptation aside from me, it's more so the director. I've enjoyed Guadagnino's films, and like even I think Challenges. I think as it stands currently, a little spoiler into the end of year how I feel about these films so far. Challenges is the best film I've seen this year so far. That's my opinion.
It's
on that.
bold, but
yeah.
I think
You can see why.
I can see why, but for it to be the best film of the year, we'll have to wait and see.
Obviously, we still got a lot more.
There's still some big films coming out this
I'm
year.
still yet to see Challenges, and I am kind of not putting it off, but I'm waiting for the right time because I've heard such good things about it that I kind of want to save it for a special time.
Special moment.
Yeah, but
like that's the way I feel when I think
it will
about
be
it.
I think you're not gonna not like it. It is. It is without a doubt a great film.
Yeah.
And the characterization I think lines up perfectly for someone as complex and weird as Patrick Bateman. And you get to know the psyche. Obviously, the Zendaya was the subject of that in his last film. You really get into the mind of these characters, what makes them tick.
Yeah.
And I think Jacob Elordi sounds like a perfect match.
Yeah.
Because he's sort of played someone with a lot of demons in Euphoria. He's done it so well. I think it sort of does line up perfectly for him.
Yeah.
He's a brilliant actor, so yeah, I see that being a good cast. I can see that working.
Yeah, I'm excited for American Psycho. Well, this new adaptation of it, because what we had back then, obviously, it sent shockwaves in the cinema world, didn't it? But I think I'm really curious to see how he'd pick it up and bring his own style to it.
Yeah,
because he, as a director, he does have his own styles and motifs, and I think the way he attacks the narrative and the way he toys with music, it's like symphony. Yeah,
it's good because the music is a major element of American Psycho, and Challenges, that was also a major aspect of that film as well. So yeah, everything you said spot on. Last one of the week, Daniel Craig slams Netflix model. Daniel Craig apparently has told Netflix CEO that this is back in 2022 that the Glass Onion should have been released theatrically, widely theatrically, due to positive receptions that it had in the film festival run. Ted Sarandos said it wasn't the model. Craig said, F your model. So according to reports, Glass Onion in 2022 would have projected around 600 million, which is good. And obviously a theatrical release brings more money, more attention, more buzz, more word of mouth. But it's still crazy to see Netflix it's our way or the highway. Yeah.
Look, I think both their points are valid. I can see it from both angles. At the end of the day, to play devil's advocate, Netflix is a corporate company. They have plans set by their managers, their senior leadership team, the CEO. They've got structures in place. Just because a thing comes along, Daniel Craig, with now the fact that I've got a good movie and we want to do this theatrically, it might not fit in their agenda. It's true. Do you see what I'm saying? So I don't think it's a thing where they're like they're doing it as a negative thing. They think it's the best model for them.
Do you think it's a case of you need us more than we need you? And if you don't like it,
no, I don't.
Right there.
I don't think that. I think the only thing I did hear actually was that I think he was promised, or they were promised some form of release, and they kind of, off a technicality, kind of got out of not doing that, or something along them lines. So yeah, and on Daniel Craig's part, you've put all your love and time into this movie. You want people to see it. I think it deserved a release.
I think it would have done well.
I enjoyed the film, not as much as the first one, but I really did enjoy it.
I disagree, but
you like it more than the first one.
Batista.
I think the second one's so good. I'm excited for the third.
I think they're both good, but for me, the first one.
I think for a company like Netflix, you have their whole model. We've seen it from the start. All they're doing is pumping out these films onto streaming, and that's it. That's their model. They would bypass cinema and go straight onto their platform, and that's obviously how they keep their things. If you throw that into cinemas, that looks a bit like hypocrisy,
and it opens a can of worms.
Of
It
course.
sets a precedent because then.
Everyone's going to want to release.
Yeah, why does Daniel Craig get a release when my film was when Red Notice was the biggest film on Netflix, and I want Red Notice 2 in theaters?
But again, that's all. That's all.
It's true.
At the end of the day, Netflix has the final say in that. If it's their film, if they're producing it, of course, but if they 100% own it and they can do what they want and they've got the final thing, they can do that.
Of course.
Well,
Without a
Dan, it was reported last week that Margot Robbie, her new movie, Withering Heights or something like that, they actually turned down a 150 million Netflix deal to get the theatrical release because something along the lines, they believed in the cultural impact of theaters. So it's good to see that just because Netflix is the dominator in the industry, it's not a be all or end all.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be.
And both sides can win in this. If you want the theatrical release, you're there. You've got the biggest platform in the world.
Yeah.
If you want to take your chances and go, Nolan done it. You want to take your chances and go to cinema?
Yeah.
By all means.
Go for it, yeah. If you haven't already, go check out our last week's episode. It's linked right there. If you haven't already, subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. But yeah, take care and goodbye.